Hello everyone. We are doing another surgery diary video. This might have been a surprise, given the last one covered our final bit of surgery. But, well, we'll tell the story from the start. So, we had our primary gender reaffirming surgeries in April of last year. We did a daily diary throughout those. Then there was some complications and problems, but that's not important right now. Then in August, we had the second surgery, which it was a follow-up surgery. It was like a day surgery, like just in and out, like within an hour, which was about creating the clitoris hood and the inner labia of the vagina. Now, when we were doing that, or rather our surgeon was doing that, she noted that the way we looked, like the way our neo vagina looked, it was almost like one side was already done without extra work on it. So she suggested only doing one side of the inner labia. And we were like, okay, sure, why not? Like, she's the surgeon, she should know, whatever. But after that, in the weeks that followed, and then eventually months that followed, we noticed how uneven we were down there. And it was actually like bothering us. And at first we were like, well, it's probably just swelling, like it's gonna go down, it's gonna look fine eventually. But then like more months passed, and eventually in November, our surgeon calls us. She asks like, hey, how is everything going? Like, has there been any complications? Do you have any thoughts? And we told her, like, you know, you only did one side of the inner labia, and is it labia or labia? English is not our first language. And we're not sure that was the right call because we feel uneven, we look uneven down there. And she was like, oh, well, in that case, we can schedule a third surgery early next year to correct that. And we were like, okay, great. Like, yeah, let's do that then. So that was today. And let's just cover the surgery real quick. It went really well. We were in. Again, it was a day surgery. Like, we got there, we got in, 30 minutes later, we left. We're in a lot of pain right now. We're currently on Oxycontin for 3 days. So we're a little loose in the head. But it went well. Like, we got in there, we had our little Shadow the Hedgehog plush that follows us everywhere we go now, as like a little supportive thing with us, because we really like this plush that our friend got us, and we didn't bring it into the surgical theater, by the way. Although honestly, we probably could have, because like everything like waist up, they don't give a fuck about really. Well, I guess this isn't sterile, so maybe not actually. But like, we got to have our phone in there, and like we were like scrolling social media and like sending messages and such during the procedure, and it was all well and good. If you want to see what we looked like, we looked like this. Well, that's not very visible, is it? Hold on, we can lower the brightness a little bit, maybe. Maybe that'll help. And there we are. In the very sexy hairnet, plastic hairnet thing, and blue scrub. with our shadow. Um, yeah, so that went all well and good, and then we got our drugs, and we got to go home, and that's kind of it. Like that surgery part went well. It was simple. There was no complications. Nothing really worth talking about. Barely even have a reason to make this video. Except we do, because something we have been covering a lot in these surgery diaries have been complications and problems with the healthcare system in Sweden. And it's been like anecdotal stuff pertaining to like bad doctors, sometimes bad nurses, engaging in transphobia, or a lack of information. It's also been like a lot of praising of like the good ones as well there. And there's also been some like systemic issues as well, and like information that like contradicts other information you get, and like a bunch of various problems. And we do have another story like that to tell today, although it's only tangentially related specifically to trans healthcare, because this is actually a complete widespread healthcare issue. So, we live in southern Sweden. We live in a city called Kalmar, and the nearest trans-affirming care you can get is in a city called Linköping. It's that or Malmö. They're both kind of the same distance, but like it's one of those two that you're gonna end up going to if you're a southern Swede looking for trans healthcare. We've been to both Malmö and Linköping, by the way. But the surgery stuff has been all Linköping for us, whereas our hormone treatment is in Malmö, which is itself complicated to deal with, but not the point of this particular video. That has to do with how we have moved back and forth over the years in our soon 12 years of living as a trans person. So, you know. Anyway, so this requires us, of course, to go from Kalmar to Linköping, which is a 3-hour bus ride. It's also a 3-hour train ride, which might sound odd, but it's because of how the routes go specifically. So, if we were to take the train, our surgery was at 10:45 in the morning. If we were to take a train, we would need to like leave and take a train at like 5 a.m. That might be like, wait, you said 3 hours. Yeah, well, the next train that leaves at 7 costs like 3 times as much. And the next one that's cheaper, like the one at 5, is going to be there too late. So 5 a.m. train or paying a lot of money. Now, thankfully, there is a bus that goes from Kalmar to Linköping every day, specifically for patients who need to go to the hospitals. It also picks up and leaves people at other hospitals along the way. Great. That one leaves at like 7:30 or something. So it will be in Linköping just in time for our surgeries. We think that's great, wonderful, perfect. We can take that, go up, we can take the bus and go back home. We've done this before. We've taken this bus many times. So we call up the hospital, and we're like, hey, the bus that we arrive with will like arrive basically when our scheduled appointment is. Is that fine, or will we have to come in earlier? And they say like, no, it's fine. Like, just get there as soon as you can after the bus arrives, and it's fine if you're like a couple of minutes late. It's like, okay, cool, perfect. So just gonna book the bus then, right? This is where hell started. So today is Thursday. On Monday, we were gonna book the bus. So we call up the local like traffic, like basically the things works is like the LAN, which is like the closest English term is probably like municipality, like the local municipalities, like public transport company handles this trip, right? So we call them up, and they basically say there's like 150 people in line, like queued up in the phone right now, and they don't offer like they don't like give us the chance to like ask them to call you up when it's your time. Sometimes they do, but this time they didn't. So we just start waiting and waiting, and suddenly the phone hangs up. Okay. And it hangs up after like half an hour or something. So like, okay, well, we just lost our place in the queue. That's not great. So we're like, okay, whatever. Let's just put that behind us. We're gonna try and book it on Tuesday instead. Try to reach him on Tuesday. Same problem. So we're like, fine. We're gonna go as early as possible Wednesday, the day before, right in the morning, like 6 a.m. Just gonna start calling then. And those of you who watch our streams will know that we had a race on the night between Tuesday and Wednesday. We didn't sleep after that. We stayed up until morning hours to call this bus company or public transport company. So we did. 20 people ahead. Now it offers to call us back up. So we're like, okay, sure, call us back up. It's only 20 people, but sure, call us back up. About an hour passes, and they call us. We're like, good. And they're like, okay, so you want to book the bus from Linköping from Kalmar to Linköping? We're like, yep, that's what we want to do. We need to be there. We have a surgery at 10:45. And they're like, yeah, we can see that you have an appointment. And we're like, great. And then they go, but you don't have a referral. And we're like, what do you mean? You don't have a referral from the hospital in Kalmar that you need to go to Linköping. You have an appointment in Linköping, but not a referral from Kalmar. And we're like, yeah, that makes sense, considering Kalmar isn't the one who sent us to Linköping in the first place. We've been going to Linköping for over a decade. Like, they're the ones sending these appointments. Like, that shouldn't be an issue. And like, well, it is. You need a referral from the local hospital, so you need to call them up and get a referral, because your referral ended at some point. It's like, okay, no one's told us this, and like, shouldn't that be something that's done when we get the appointment, like at the hospital? And like the guy on the phone is just like, can't help you. It's like, okay, so we hang up, and now we need to try and get to the local hospital, which turns out to be basically as difficult as it is getting the bus, public transport company. So we try calling up like the psychiatric clinic at the local hospital, because they would have been the ones that do the referrals for like gender dysphoria. So they're like the closest thing we have. Like, yeah, they have our information, so maybe they can do it. No response. Like, sorry, like our phone lines are full and we're not taking any more calls today. This is still early in the morning. We're talking like 8 a.m. at the latest. Okay, so we think that's not good. So we try and call the surgical ward at Linköping instead. And thankfully, after another phone line that took about half an hour or so, they pick up. great. So we ask them immediately, like, okay, so here's the problem. We have an appointment tomorrow for surgery, but we don't have a referral from our local hospital. That referral that we had before that allowed us to go has ended. Can you fix this? And they're like, well, you are supposed to be able to fix that. And it's not something that we technically can do, but we're gonna try. Like, we're gonna get in touch with them, but you should also get in touch with your local hospital. And it's like, okay, where should I call and what should I say to not just be told that the phone hours are done? And they help us with that. And like, we're like, okay, cool, great. We still don't manage to get to the local hospital. Thankfully, at this point, our wonderful partner, suggests a different approach of calling the what is it called? Like the part of like the healthcare system that like can refer to different hospitals and different wards. So we call them specifically and we're like, hey, we need to sort out a problem with our referral. We know the phone lines are over. Can you please get us in touch with like someone at this ward so like we can actually like sort this out? We need our surgery. And they're like, okay, and hangs up. Maybe it was a mistake, we don't know. We try again, we wait again, we get there, and we explain it again to a different person this time, and they're like, yes, we can do that. You will be put on a hold, but like we will get you to like the actual like reception desk. Like, okay, great. So we do. We end up going to the reception desk, getting a call to the reception desk, and they're like, we can look into this, but we're gonna have to get back to you. So like, can we take your phone number? Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, fine, do it. And then like we wait like another 2 hours or something, and then finally they call back and they're like, okay, what's your issue? And we're like, okay, so we have an appointment for surgery tomorrow in Linköping. We don't have a referral from the local hospital, so we can't book our bus. And they're like, didn't you already call? And we're like, no. Well, we did, but we didn't actually get to talk to anyone. We didn't actually get to solve this. And they're like, oh, well, someone else had a similar problem. We'll look into it. And then like ask us to give our name and our personal number, which is like the Swedish version of a social security number, basically. And they're like, no, you were just added, like we just sorted out so you would get your referral. I was like, what? And they're like, oh, so the hospital in Linköping got through just before we did and sorted it out. Great. So we're saying, okay, so it's done then. We have a referral now. And they're like, yeah, you do. So you can go book your bus. And it's like, okay, great. 2 more hours of phone queuing. And we get to talk to the bus public transport folks again. And we're like, hi, we have a surgery tomorrow. We need a bus from Kalmar to Linköping. We have a referral now. It was a problem before, but we have it now. And they respond, no, you don't have a referral. We're checking. You don't have a referral. You can't book this. And we're like, but both hospitals say that we do. How can you, the public transport, say that we don't when the hospitals say we do? And they're like, sorry, can't help you. It's like, okay. So we try and call back to the local hospital. They're not picking up anymore. So great. Wonderful. So we tried to call the hospital in Linköping. But now their phone hours are out. So we have to call like the reception desk at like the general hospital there and be like, hey, problem, we really need to get in touch with this, with like the surgical ward because of these reasons. We've been doing this for hours now. We need to like sort this out. It's important. We have a surgery tomorrow. And they're like, no worries. We're going to fix this. And they patch us through. And a person picks up and we're like, hi, here's the situation. Here's everything we've been doing today. Here's what we were told. And then this is what the bus guy is saying now. Can you help us? And the person on the other end is like, we're not sure, because like I'm not the one that you talked to before. Hold on a second. I'm gonna ask my colleague. And we're like, oh shit, please don't tell us that we're gonna have to like start over or something. And this person leaves for a bit. And I come back and it's like, okay, think our colleague knows what's going on. It's the one you talked to earlier. She will call you back. It's like, okay, another wait for a call back, but fine, we'll do that. Wait a little while, don't remember how long. She calls back. She's like, hi, yeah, like I'm the one you talked to earlier. What's the problem? We explain the problem. She's like, that's odd, because we definitely like got you that referral. And she goes to check, and it turns out that like they told this local hospital, the people working there, to get the referral done, and they said they were gonna do it, but then it got like stuck in as an email at like the person that needs to finalize it, and it was just sitting there. So they got in touch with that person and was told, we will have it done by 3:30 at the latest. So it's like, yeah, so after 3:30, try calling public transport again. And we're like, okay. We decided to wait until 4, just to be extra safe. And we start calling the bus company again. 2 more hours of waiting in a phone queue. Someone responds. They're like, hi, how can we help you? And we're like, hi, we have an appointment tomorrow. It's a surgical appointment. We need to go to Linköping. We need to go from Kalmar. We know there's a bus that goes there. We've taken it before. We have a referral. Can we book it, please? And they're like, yeah, you have a referral. You can book that. And like they ask, like, do you need like any help to get to the hospital? Like to the local hospital first. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like our partner lives close by. We can just get there. It's fine. And then we're like, also, yeah, and we have one person coming with us because our partner is coming with us as support, which we need, especially after this day. We really need like someone we feel we can rely on and that makes us feel comfortable. And like that wasn't the problem the last time or the time before that. Like it's never been a problem. And they say, oh, you can't bring anyone because the hospital hasn't written that you need to bring someone. We have taken this bus a lot of times. Never before have they said this when we've asked to bring someone. Being able to bring one person as long as there's seats available basically has never been an issue. Maybe they've changed the rules or something. We don't know. But they certainly were like, oh no, you can't bring anyone. And we're like basically breaking down on the phone at this point. We already had like 2 panic attacks throughout the day over this shit. And the person on the other side of the phone, kind of dismissively, but ultimately kindly, is like, we'll allow it, but technically you're not allowed to. So like, we're gonna write that you need to like sort this out for the next time or something. And we're like, fine, whatever, thank you. Please just book the damn bus. And like, we felt so defeated afterwards. And like, This was for booking one bus trip with a bus that goes every day and exists specifically to bring people between hospitals throughout the municipality or county or however you want to translate these things. And it took us over 10 hours of like calling and waiting and calling someone else and figuring out another way to get somewhere. Unbelievable. It's shit like this that makes people give up on getting help, on getting the treatments they need. As we were doing this and like venting our frustrations in a Discord channel with some people, someone else was venting at the same time about effectively just getting dismissive comments after from like healthcare professionals while they're trying to seek help with like their anxieties and depression. And we've been there too. Yeah, we've had that happen too. And it's just like, when the systems that are in place specifically to help people are so full of busy work on the person that needs help has to do, jumping through hoops, dealing with bullshit, basically not being told half the things they need to deal with, that's not a functioning system. That is a broken system. And that's not okay. Now, thankfully, the surgery went well. My partner was there to support us. It's now late. We're gonna go to bed. We're in so much pain, but the pain is better than sitting in a fucking phone queue trying to book a bus trip to a surgery that a fucking public transport company decides we're not allowed to go to. Peace out. There's probably gonna be one more surgery diary video on like the 1 year anniversary of all this, like the main surgery, to like reflect back on everything. But other than that, this is probably gonna be the last video in this series. So thank you so much for watching, and when the pain isn't killing us, we'll be back to doing streams, whether that's on Sunday or Tuesday or later in the week, who knows. But at some point, take care. Love you all. Bye.